The most important thing is to understand the story in a kind of an intimate, deep way, and only if you understand the story deeply, you can then, render it into images that go on the screen, as well as understanding how the director sees the story. But those, I'd say, are the two most important things. So because of that, then you need to find a language on how to write the film in images. These are the most important things. In fact, choosing a movie is like it's like when you get married. Meaning the choice is not so thought out or scientific. It's more instinct. There's a combination of things. Because of that, you say, okay, this is the film to make, and this is the girl I want to marry. So it's not totally tied up to logic issues, but there has to be something in common between the cinematographer and director, whether it's a culture, something in common, or whether there's a friendship, or there's an aesthetic understanding. The relationship between cinematographer and director can be very different. In some cases, the cinematographer has to have a lot of suggestions on how to write the story, how to use the camera for the story. In some others, the collaboration has a different meaning. Only they are good only if they serve, if they are useful, and they work in a direction to tell the story, make the story more important, and make the story more understandable, and help emotion being delivered on a screen. Also, I always say that there's got to be a reason why you stay seated in a room and look at a screen and something that's happening on the screen. So what is on the screen has to be in a way fascinating, enough to attract your attention. Forget the technique. Technique is very easy. It's the easy part. The main thing is training yourself so you have answers. When you make a movie, you have a lot of choices in front of you, right? Whether they are aesthetic choices or human choices or semantic choices. How do you frame something? What do you leave out? What do you keep in? In order to have those answers, you need to be prepared in your brain. So I suggest that art is important. Humanistic culture is very important. Architectural design. In other words, I would call it generically culture. The more cultured you are, the better you do. The more answers you have when time comes in which you need some answer. I think none of us are artists, cinematographers, actors, directors, but a movie can be a work of art, meaning everybody's work getting together can become a film that can be described as work of art. I also think, and I like what Umberto Eco said in one of his books, which is The Absent Structure, that you can only call something art if there's a step forward. In other words, if there are new elements of communication between the artist and whoever is the viewer of the art. There has to be a changing elements of communication. You have to make a step forward in the formal essence of how you communicate. Use a new way of communicating. Without this step forward, I don't think you can talk about art. Anybody who imitates Mona Lisa by Leonardo is not an artist. That has been done already. So you have to invent something new. So when I'm looking at somebody else's cinematography, even in a context like this, which is a festival, I always look if there's something new in what I see in front of me. There's an attempt to communicate in a different, new way. In that case, it's a first for the whole of humanity. There's no going back. It's a step forward for everybody. That's the value of the artist. You know, it makes the whole of humanity make a step forward in communication.